So Puffy's credited a lot about the image and style of Jodeci, sort of the let's take them and dress them. But when you guys came from North Carolina, how were you guys dressing back in when you moved before you got to New York?
We were like, I said we had our country swag going on. We had our Southern swag. It was. I try to dress us all like Bobby Brown. We had the pants. I said we all look like Bobby Brown. So we were still a little edgy, but it was country edgy. We wasn't New York edgy. When we got to New York, it's been a couple of years. We started hanging out with. Well, I did personally start hanging out with Puff, and I started picking up a little bit different flavor, and that became like it kind of just spread throughout the group. And now it just became what our image was, So
yeah,
we took off the feathers and put the boots on, So it kind of just came natural by us being in New York. So
did the success take you by surprise of the first album, first single? Was it a surprise for you how successful it was?
I think that anytime you can't really expect what's going to happen, especially if you have a hit record, because you never had one. I mean, if you coming from North Carolina like us, and we never understood, we just made music because we liked it. We didn't know it was going to just take the world by storm. We just, we created something we liked. We didn't try to go out there and say, we're going to be a hit group or we're going to do this. We enjoyed making records, and, as we still do. And, just the world just loved what we did. We didn't know what to expect. I don't think we had any expectations. We hoped that people love it. But as far as like the popularity and the things that came along with it, I don't think you can prepare anybody for that, So.
How did you adapt and how did you adjust to that? Because I think that's the thing that is different for everyone. Did it make it different because you're in a group and you had your older brother? But how was it for you when you guys are the biggest thing out there, that you're famous, everyone? So you're talking about back in North Carolina, you had your little thing going on, but now the world is shouting your name and stuff. What was it like for you personally?
I mean, it's like for me, it was just a feeling of gratitude. You know what I'm saying? Like I never expect or people to want to, love you and they better love me. To me, I'm still grateful. Whether I have 1 fan or 1 million fans, I'm grateful that people enjoy the work that we put into what we do and still to this day support what we did. I don't think I ever changed. I got a lot wiser as I grew up in the business, a lot of ups and downs as all artists go through. But, as far as me as a person, I stayed the same. And anybody that knows me say the same thing. Like I've never really changed. I've learned a lot and I've experienced a lot, but I don't think I ever changed as a person. As far as like I never let money change me, or get to this place where, expect that I'm better than everybody else because I've had hit records out or whatever. I think I stayed pretty much the same.
How was it for your parents when you guys had the big, #1 record and albums and songs everywhere? How did they adapt to the initial success?
It's still weird to them because my parents have never heard Jodeci. They've heard of songs that we've done, and like my dad have heard "Get On Up" because it was remade by Hezekiah Walker, who's a gospel singer. My dad, they don't listen to Jodeci records. They don't listen to gospel music. But my dad, we talk musically now. Like we talk about records, and he's like, "Oh, don't get too nasty, or don't say this, or blah blah blah." And my mom, they've never sit down and just actually listen to a Jodeci record, though.
Yeah. Do you know, if I think about "Forever My Lady," the one of the because when I listened to that, and it is something that when I was in Nigeria, I couldn't really understand the record until I moved to America in '92,
right.
and I met a lot of guys who because in Nigeria you didn't have a lot of out of wedlock kids, so people get married, have their kids culturally. So the song didn't really make much sense until I moved to America, and I could see, wow, this guy, they're not married but having a kid, and it was such a poem and a story. When that was recorded, did you realize the impact it was going to have? Did you,
to be honest, the first couple of lines of that song, we went back and forth, like, because we're so young. I mean, we're 16 and 17 years old, and we was talking about having babies. It's life, it's reality, and we say, at the end of the day, that's how we wrapped our minds around. This is reality. This is people, 14, 13-year-olds having kids, 16 are having kids. And, so we try to, as a band, we've always tried to speak to every every situation, every person, every culture, everything that's going on. So like we did a whole AIDS campaign. Because young people, we did a whole Jodeci for urban AIDS. We spearheaded an AIDS campaign. So we try to just incorporate a lot of things into what our band is, not just go out there and just talk about just sex and sex and sex. We just talk about a lot of different things, a lot of issues that people can relate to.
Yeah. The somebody asks about the sort of the outfits you wore, the whites and stuff. I mean, who was given the fashion for those videos? You had that early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a funny story. Well, what happened was Andre Harrell, God bless his soul, he passed away, but at the time he got tired of the jeans and the hats and he's like, y'all need to put on suits and y'all will wear suits, because what happened was Gotta Love, the first single that we did was with the whole sweat hoodies and everything on. It didn't hit. It didn't take off. So Andre Harrell said, I told y'all that wasn't gonna work. So y'all gonna listen to me. So the image is now suits and blah blah blah. So they bought us these white suits, and I went in the trailer myself personally, cut them all the shorts. And so that was my idea. I cut them all the shorts, and I said, "This is what we're gonna wear. We're gonna still keep it street, but we'll put on the jackets with the shorts and the boots." And we came out. And he was like, but it was too late. I had already cut the pants, so it wasn't nothing they could do. But we had to wear like that, and it worked. It worked though, It worked.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, it's So, did you take more of the control of the sort of the image from Puffy and shape the style of the group? Was that more of what you were doing in those early days?
I think pretty much. Puff started doing the bad boy thing, and we kind of not drifted apart, but he had the whole thing, but he started working on his own thing. So it was kind of left up to me to to try to curate the fashion sense to where we wanted to be. And I just took a lot of my style and just translated over to Jodeci. Then we had Sybil, who was, she worked for us, worked with us a lot. Me and Sybil would go out and, and grab outfits and put our heads together and try to find out, okay, this is, let's do this, let's try this, let's try this, let's try this. This works, this don't work. We always want to stay ahead of fashion. We always want to stay ahead of fashion at the R&B genre at that time. We want everything to be music forward, everything. So.
When it came to the singing, did you because I know people would always say that Casey's probably, as a lead vocalist in a group, probably one of the best ever, and then with JoJo. But did you want to get more involved with the singing in those on any of the albums? Absolutely.
But we all sing, like a lot of backgrounds and stuff is me and my brother. That's why when you hear Jodeci and Casey and JoJo, anything else is totally different. Yeah. You got totally different because, we all our voices blend together on Jodeci Harmony, and Casey and JoJo is a totally different thing, which I admire their stuff too. But with Jodeci is something totally different. Yeah. So adding our flair, all of us adding our voices to make the harmony sound the way it does. So, but as far as the lead singer in Jodeci, everybody had their position to play. Casey was the lead singer, Joe's the lead singer. Me and Devontae was, we handled the backgrounds and we, raised the harmony, sung the harmony with them. So that was just, my position in the group. I didn't say, look, I want to sing lead. I want to do this. I want to do that. I'm a part of a team player. So It is what it is. But I always knew once I get the thing, then it's all me. So.
Okay. So, and you never, did you ever think about going solo in the midst of the success of Jodeci, or?
Nah, never. I always knew, like, this is where I'm at. Let me give everything I got, even for myself, to this group. Everybody give all they got. I don't think any of us ever thought about stepping away from Jodeci at the time. We just wanted to make our foundation as strong as we could. Yeah. So, that's the only thing that was on my mind. I was tunnel vision when it came to Jodeci. The solo thing, that was in the back somewhere. But as far as I don't want to lose. I'm getting low battery cells. So
okay.
Forever, my lady, the one for me, holding me close. Yes. She's all I need when we make love. It's like a dream. when you think of love. You think of Jodeci. Let us caress you. JoJo, Devante, and K.A.M.P. We really want to please you. Come on and let us squeeze you to your ecstasy. Let your body feel the beat when you think of Jodeci. You think of our capabilities. We know that you like our sounds. This groove is getting down. When you think of Jodeci, you think of our capabilities. We know that you like our sound. This groove is getting down, baby.
All right. That was great.
Thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, but most importantly to press the notification bell so that you can be notified when we do have a new interview. Loads to come, but thanks a lot for watching.